So my parents weren't big on hip hop. They were real big on not wanting us to listen to hip hop. So what happened was in middle school, a band came around that was like a loophole for me. And that band was Linkin Park because they would rap, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, oh, I ain't listening to hip hop, I'm listening to rock. And my mom, she was listening to rock too, so it was like, you can't really tell me not to.
So that's what I did. I ripped it out for 2 more years with some duct tape on it. But it's funny because I actually asked my dad the other day, and he's like, I was like, did you believe me when I told you that I wasn't drunk? He's like, I don't believe anything you told me.
Around the fraternity, right? Let's talk about the darties at the crib with the basement. Let's talk about the parties. Let's talk about the house. Let's talk about it all. So everybody, how we doing today? We got another great episode over here at FairWeatherFriends. To my right, as always, Mr. Connor Doak. Connor, how we doing today?
We're doing good. Looking forward to talking with our new guests. I'm really looking forward to all the conversations we're going to bring up.
Absolutely. And directly across from me right now, Mr. Enoch. Enoch, drop some knowledge. How we doing today?
Doing phenomenal overall. Can't really complain. Wouldn't do me no good if I did anyway. A little tired. Just moving to a new spot, but we're excited about that. Excited about this new phase of 24 that we're about to go into.
That's right, man. 2024 is looking up already. And right here, we got 2 people who are near and dear to my heart again. We got DJ Sudz over here.
Yo, what up? What up?
And then we got my former El Presidente, Mr. Ferris Evan. How we doing today?
Well, Enoch said, phenomenal. Can't complain.
Love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. So let's go ahead and drop a little bit on us, man. Tell us a little bit about who you are. Tell us who the DJ Sudz is.
All right, guys. So, I started out in Wilmington. That's where I come from. That's my hometown. So about 2018 comes around. I graduated high school by the skin of my teeth. Somehow made it into this great university we call UNC Charlotte. And so I felt like I was missing something, So I was there for a semester. Had a good time, but, something was missing. So what I did was I joined a fraternity. This fraternity is called Sigma Chi. Gave me some real good memories. Probably the best memories of my life. Some of them are not safe for this podcast.
Hashtag the Mercury days.
Oh, yeah. We can talk about the Mercury a little bit. The Mercury saw some good times. Some unspeakable things happened inside and out of that car. So went to UNC Charlotte, joined the fraternity, was a social chair there. Through the parties, something was lacking there at those parties. Something was always off, and I felt like it was the music. I've learned a lot in the last 3 to 4 years about what music does for an environment where people are trying to have fun. It's the key to success. So about a year into my fraternity life, I said, you know what? These DJs we had, a couple of them were cheap, a couple of them were expensive. You know what the common denominator was? Is they all fucking sucked. So here we go. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this shit my damn self. So that's what I did. And then COVID hit and I just locked in, man. I had nothing else to do other than school, which wasn't really much going on in school when you ain't going to school. So DJing was it, man.
Dude, so I remember one day we were all getting ready for Rush Week, right? And I remember we were getting all the signs ready and everything, had a couple of the sweethearts over, and I saw you had the scratch table. I was like, when you going to drop us some beats, man? And look where that scratch table took you.
Oh, man, I'm ashamed to know what that shit sounded like at the time. I don't even want to know.
Hey, man, everybody's got to start their craft somewhere.
I see some old videos sometimes, and I'm like, my goodness, what were you thinking? That was bad. But I thought it was good at the time.
Hey, it was good to everybody there, man. So it ain't even a thing. But so we're going to hop right into it. So we're going to talk a little bit about your upbringing. I want to hear what made little Sudz get into the world of DJing. Okay. There might have been something there that was like, you know what, maybe you scratched a little dish plate at one time and you're like, oh, this looks right. So get into that. See if you know Enoch. Enoch probably has some stories too, what made little Enoch get into the world of it. So next, after that, we're going to hop into the fraternity days. That's why we got El Presidente here. I really want to hear. I mean, I hopped in with them. I was a little bit older and I hopped in. I made my splash and then I got out. But y'all stayed. So I got to hear some stories before, during, and after. Then we're going to wrap it up. A little bit of the biggest takeaways that you've learned from starting out, man. And if there's anybody out there that just bought a scratch table like young Sudz did during the Sigma Chi days, what can we drop some knowledge on them? But first, I do got to start with a what the Spencer moment. Wasn't what the Francesco, wasn't what the Monique, it was what the Spencer. So, Connor, you were there for it. It's 7:30, 7:35 in the morning. Mr. Connor Doak and Spencer Faircloth are driving to work. I got my phone in my hand, scrolling, doom scrolling, on the socials. All of a sudden, I feel my pocket start buzzing, and I'm like, I pull out a phone, and it's my fiance's phone, Monique, and I'm like, hey. And she's like, hey, what are you doing with my phone? I was like, guess I took it with me to work. She was like, where's your phone? I was like, it's in my hand. She was like, so you mean to tell me you have my phone and your phone? I was like, shit. I guess I do. I guess I do. So I'm just sitting there, and you just longest sigh ever. And mind you, my phone picks up so Connor can hear everything, and Connor just hears, I'm on my way to go get my fucking phone. And she had PT. So all of a sudden I'm in there making a call, and I just see Monique pull up right beside me, and I just, as embarrassed as possible, I'm just like, I'm sorry. But yeah, so that was the Spencer
at the moment too. He didn't give me any, let me know what was going on. So I see him scrolling on his phone out of the corner of my eye. And then I just see him perk up out of nowhere. It made me jump a little bit. I was like, what? I thought he saw something on the road. And then he just kind of goes,
well, he saw something. It was his whole life.
Yeah. He pulled him down, and I'm literally thinking, I'm like, what the fuck's going on over here?
Dude, bro, because everybody knows about phantom vibrates, right? So it's I'm like, there's no way I'm having a phantom vibrate with my phone in my hand. It's in my hand. So yeah. But
I lose so much shit all the time. I'm like a phone wallet keys checker all the time. I don't know if
I got to do the 3-man pat down.
Oh,
yeah. Phone keys, wallet.
Every day I leave anywhere. Spencer hears me like a phone keys, wallet.
Yeah. You gotta do the 3P pat down, but you gotta get those air tags, man. Like those are just the most convenient thing. Well, I guess if you lose your phone, you're SOL.
I got the tiles.
Well, he's got tags.
Oh, you got the tiles?
I got the tiles.
And he still loses.
Oh yeah.
Listen,
the batteries on the tile are dead right now. That thing is worthless. I'll run around the house seven times trying to find my damn keys. That's why we were late today, actually.
Nah, it's all good, man. I was going to say everybody's here, so we're ready to get started. So,
all right,
let's go ahead, man. Go ahead and dive into if we can bring back the memories of young Sudz.
All right. So when I was a kid growing up, music was always big in our house. I grew up kind of all over North Carolina. My mom was a traveling nurse, so she would kind of bounce around. And for the most part, I lived with my dad until we settled in Wilmington when I was about 14. So, growing up, mom would always play the music of the 80s, hair bands, a little bit of 2000s club music as well, because my mom's young. She's about 49 now. So, about 2000 to 2005 was her go to the club and fuck it up days. So she could get down to some Usher, some Young Jock, all that good stuff. But, my dad was real big into 90s hip hop. So 90s hip hop was all over, and it was always funny because whenever I would call my mom and I'd be with my dad because they split up when I was real young, my mom would be like, I hear that rap shit in the background. Don't play that shit around my son. So anyways, yeah.
She's in there playing Def Leppard.
I know. Pour some sugar on me all
What was the
day.
song? Sex and Candy or something like that. It smells like sex and chocolate.
I don't even know that one.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, music was always around. It was a big thing. My dad actually worked with a hip hop group when I was growing up too. So, I spent a little bit of time at the studio with them from time to time. It was kind of everywhere around me. Music was always a thing. And then when I got to high school, my grandma passed away, which rest in peace. But she had these giant ass speakers and she gave them to me. And, high school is kind of when you start partying, you start going to house parties, doing your thing. So I would bring these big ass speakers to whoever's mama's house about every weekend. And, so I really started DJing before I started DJing. These things were 12-inch speakers from the 70s, still sounded supreme. Still got them in my garage, actually, and everyone signed them at our high school graduation party. So it's like a relic. It's kind of like a full circle thing to see those speakers to where we are now. So then we get to college, right? I kind of already explained that story about how I started DJing and why I started doing it. Yeah, that's kind of how we got here.
Yeah, man.
But we can go more into detail about after that because that's when shit really ramped up.
Oh, for sure. Like I said, man, I remember the first scratch and then where you are now, man. I mean, it's completely night and day, but you got to start somewhere. So, Enoch, let me pass the torch to you, man. Take me into the mind of young Enoch. What are we getting into? How did we start our career?
Well, production wise, it was really church. So I grew up in the church. My dad was an associate pastor. So just being around church, my mom was in the choir. I kind of learned music theory without like trying to learn music theory. So it was like being a kid and having a choir director be like, you flat, you flat, you flat. And you hear it so often that you learn what being on key is like. And I grew to love it like a lot. We listened to a whole lot of music growing up too. We listened to like Stevie Wonder, a whole lot of Mike, a whole lot of Prince. But then my mom was real big on progressive rock at the time. So I was able to also listen to a couple of bands sneak in there. And so into the like Nirvana's, it kind of bled into hip hop without even trying. Because my parents weren't big on hip hop. They were real big on not wanting us to listen to hip hop. So what happened was in middle school, a band came around that was like a loophole for me. And that band was Linkin Park because they would rap, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, oh, I ain't listening to hip hop, I'm listening to rock. And my mom, she was listening to rock too, so it was like, you can't really tell me not to. So long story short, what really changed it for me, and it's ironic because it led to the hip hop and production really blending. AMVs started popping off on YouTube. Like that's when it first started. And so Linkin Park had mad AMVs, but then there was another AMV by D12. They did fight music. And so when I heard Eminem's verse with like Vegeta boxing Cell, I was like, oh, nah, this is it. And that's when it all came together. I was like, I want to produce because my dad at the time, he worked for BET and he told me very early on the production is where the money was from. And so knowing that, but also having church behind me, the musicality was just there. But when I saw the AMVs, the rapping, it was like, all right, I got to put it all together.
I loved a good AMV, man. Right. I don't know if you ever heard AFI's Miss Murder, but they had the Naruto versus Sasuke with that one. It
was
man.
The Linkin Park Naruto one was the one I saw was in the end. That was kind of like to your point. It was one of my first times where I was like, you could really feel the music. You know what I mean? Like you could really see, because at that time, like anime wasn't, what it is now. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't as popular. But to see people kind of blend hip hop with it and kind of blend these worlds together, it kind of was the early on of what we have now. To where you have people like Meg Thee Stallion now who's actually rapping about anime.
Yeah, and she's going to the Anime Awards this year.
And they're like RDC World actually having an anime con. So blending the cultures together, that kind of just inadvertently happened to me in middle school. So once high school came around, it was really just pedal to the metal. My grandmother passed away in high school as well. And so when that happened, it was really just take it seriously. Like if God gave you the talent and it's in front of you, you never know when your story is going to end and the book closes. So do something while you're here. And that was really the time it all came together. And since then, it's just been go, go, go with it.
Exactly. So, and I mean, the way we hear music, right, as the consumer, it's probably a lot different than the way you hear it, right? So, I mean, if I'm listening to a song, I'm like, oh, that was a cold line, or, oh, this is a good beat. Y'all are probably like dissecting every aspect of it. So
it's a problem.
Attention to detail for y'all, man. I think it goes crazy.
I'll be on FL Studios sometimes, and I about want to throw my computer across the room, too. I mean, it's tough. It is tough.
Yeah.
Are you FL, too?
Yeah, I use FL. Yeah, let's go.
I mean, FL
I was going to say.
The Ableton kids love to hate on it. But I don't care.
I was going to say, different story, different situation, but I tried my hand at editing, and our producer Drew right here, mad love, man, because the clips I had versus the clips this man just sent me, you're going to see it on the talk, man. It's night and day. So when I was trying over there, clip, take the sound out, clip a new sound, fuck, the sound's too long, clip a new sound, now I just messed up the sound I just did. Now I just erased the whole video in After Effects, and I'm just like, I don't want it anymore. I was like, Drew, please help, please. So I can only imagine, trying to clip just pure audio. I can only imagine what it's like for y'all. So I salute both of y'all. Something I couldn't do, but
just like getting flashes and listening to the same loop over and over.
Yeah,
and mixing it.
I can imagine like if a beat is off, you guys are like, nope, do it again.
It's like it's a mix. So like you can listen to a whole beat and be like, damn, that snare is just way too loud, or that bass is literally not in the middle of the mix, it's sitting off the mix, the stereo pan is off.
We get what's called producer's view. So sometimes you're running through this track and you're running through this pattern 100 times before you get it what you want. It might be that you're trying to pitch one sample down a little bit and you're going back and forth, running it back. When you think you got it, you're like, oh, that sounds like shit. But it really doesn't. It's just that you have that producer's ear. You've been running it and running it and running it. and you're just like your own biggest critic at the same time. You play it back for somebody else, they're like, oh, this shit sounds pretty good, but you know what I'm saying?
Oh, the perfection in it is you got to go crazy, right? It's like, I don't think this sounds good. And everybody around you, your team is like, that's fire. And you're like, let's do it again.
No, yeah, exactly. Like your friends are always going to hype you up because usually they don't have the backbone to tell you that your shit is trash. But sometimes that shit is trash. So one piece of advice I'll give to like anyone that's trying to like make remixes or make edits and shit, like be your own biggest critic because no one else is going to have the balls to tell you that your shit's trash.
Ferris, you ever told him his shit's trash?
Nah.
All right.
Nah,
See,
okay.
there we go. See, look.
Okay.
There we go.
I go.
I will say it's all relative though.
Yeah.
Like when he first started, his shit was trash.
Damn, see, there you go. Look at that.
But-
Look.
but-
Hot trash, on
But
fire trash.
He knew that though. You know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
starting out, I was like, I respect this.
Yeah.
When he's sitting in his room scratching and whatnot, I was like, yeah, he just
Dude, like I said, man, when I was first watching, I was like, man, I hope you get it, bro, because just the passion you had with it, man.
Oh, I love it, man. And kind of changed my whole music taste, too. We'll get into that.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. This is the one. This is the segment I'm waiting for. Connor, I know you got some stories of your own, man, but let's talk about the days around the fraternity, right? Let's talk about the darites at the crib with the basement. Let's talk about the parties. Let's talk about the house. Let's talk about it all. So, El Presidente, I want you to go ahead and, go ahead and pipe up here a little bit, man. So, being console, right? What was that like? Just tell me a little bit about the hooligans.
For the people that probably don't know, like, go ahead and explain what a console is. We got to dumb this down a little bit.
I was about to ask. Like, I was like, is that the equivalent of the president?
yeah, president.
Yeah.
So I was like Napoleon pretty much.
Yeah.
You're a little taller than him.
I was going to say, man, don't do that to yourself. Napoleon without the complex.
I think I got like 2 inches on him, but
Yeah, that's fair, man.
Yeah. What was the question again? Just being president, how that went?
Tell me what it was like to deal with us hooligans.
You got any gray hairs from that shit?
Probably.
He
yeah.
has to.
Probably.
He's having war flashbacks right now. You can see it in his eyes.
It's like the hamster with the war flashbacks after it stops running on the wheel. Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, it was an experience. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
It's not an experience that I would take back. I had a great time. I mean, there was ups, there's downs, dealing with those idiots all the time.
He's being so polite.
Yeah. Well, it was, I don't know.
The best way I could describe it is it was the best time of my life I'd never want to have again. Because that
That's
translates.
the best way to put it.
Does that translate? Does that transfer?
Yeah.
It's the best time of life, but I'm never going to do it
I'm
again.
never doing it again.
So, funniest story for me is the Mercury days, right? So I remember this is when I was rushing. This was Jersey Spencer. Y'all can explain who Jersey Spencer was, but like, so I was we were loading up for, I think the first game, right? Where they were doing the first original like fraternity, like, cause they had canceled, the big field and they put us all in the parking lot, right? You had to get
tailgates.
so you had to get a pass to go and tailgate and everything, right? So we're bringing all the stuff, right? And I'm in the Mercury and we have packed that thing. I wish we had a picture. You might have a picture just like to show how packed it is.
Yeah, I'll probably send you one.
But this thing is so packed. We have the trunk door open. We have the windows down. We have 3 flags hanging out of it. We have Suds' speakers. We have just chairs everywhere. You have me in the passenger seat contorted because there's a flag going this way. I'm sitting pretty much on top of somebody and I'm just like this. And there's 3 other people behind me just trying to play limbo to get in. The guard looks at us and he's like, all right, you're good. So,
It fits. They all fit. You're good.
Yeah, so those were the days, man. And then loading the Mercury, getting the Mercury unloaded, reloading the Mercury. I remember one day it rained and we were trying to load the Mercury and I like almost cussed out everybody there. But
yeah, so it was like a game of Tetris trying to pack that thing in, but it was like a level 100. Like you've been sitting there building those blocks for an hour and that shit's moving fast as fuck.
Yes.
And it's hard.
Yes.
So I can tell you another good story about that damn Mercury. So this was my first car. It was a shitty ass 2008 Mercury. It was my mom's car before mine. My parents, just to teach me a lesson, they knew it wasn't worth a damn dollar, but they're like, give us $1,000 and it's yours. So like, I worked my little high school job, made my $1,000, gave it to my mom, got this car, right? All right. So this thing was all stained to hell. It was beat out up on the outside because apparently My mom thinks poles are invisible and she just hits every fucking one she can. So we had this shitty ass car, right? And I was the activities chair at the time. And this is like the dude who plans the tailgate. It's kind of like social chair junior. So we would load up this thing with this giant ass 10 by 20 tent, big ass JBL speakers, a subwoofer, my little tiny DJ board at the time, which looked about like this. Get into that as well. But all right, so there's one day I have this car parked behind the tailgate and, we're playing music. It's lit. I'll go to the porta potty for a second and I come out and there is two women on top of this car and one quite large man. And they're jumping up and down. And I swear to God,
just to confirm, I'm not that large man. let me set the record. I'm not this large man. Yeah.
I'm not going to say any names, but his initials were NW. If you're listening to this, bro, fuck you for that. All right. So
I remember this day.
I tell them immediately, get the fuck off of my car. And then I look on the top and the roof's dented and there's a big ass hole between the roof and the sunroof. So, I'm like, you know what? I'm drunk as shit right now. I might as well just call my dad and tell him now because it'll be a lot easier now before I sober up.
Oh, facts.
So I call him and I'm like, hey, bro, what's up? He's like, you sound like you're bro. He's like, you sound like you're fucking drunk right now.
Bro is wild.
So he starts the conversation.
No, we're cool like that. But he's like, what's going on? Like, you sound drunk. What's going on? I'm like, I'm not drunk. I'm not drunk at all. But, like, I got to tell you, like, I'm at a tailgate right now. And I went to the porta potty and I came back and there's a couple girls dancing on the car. Basically destroyed the sunroof and the roof of the car. And he's basically like, that's not my problem. Get some fucking duct tape. So that's what I did. I ripped it out for 2 more years with some duct tape on it. But it's funny because I actually asked my dad the other day and I was like, did you believe me when I told you that I wasn't drunk? He's like, I don't believe anything you told me.
Dude, y'all remember the boat and how it got destroyed at one of the tailgates?
Yeah, the boat. So
what do we call it? SS.
The SS shit show.
Yeah, so UNC Charlotte played App State, and they had like this legit boat that looked like it would probably float still, and they would put it on the back of a trailer and bring it to the tailgate and let like their select crew dance on it. We found this old shitty boat that's been sitting in some redneck's yard for 20 years. Call up my boy Jason. I'm like, hey, like, do you think you can help us like go lift this boat up and put it in the back of your truck and we'll take it with us? This is like an 18-foot boat. So we go to Lake Wiley, we pick this thing up. Put it in the back of his truck. It took like 4 of us to lift it up. It didn't have a motor or anything on it. It was stripped down. So we pulled this fiberglass boat into the bed of his truck. It's sticking out probably about 12 feet.
You got pics of the SS shit show?
I'm pulling it up.
Yeah, we got pics of it. We can send y'all one to like flash up on the screen too. Please. I actually have the original picture of what it looked like before we painted it. So we would paint this boat every week and bring it out to a tailgate. And there was one week we did a joint tailgate, and I swear there was probably 100 people in the tent at least. And there was probably 20 people on this little 18-foot boat. The top of the boat, like the part where you could kind of lounge in the front, came completely off the top.
Yep.
I don't even know why they let us in that lot with that thing. That just seems like such a
I'm telling
liability.
you, same security guard, just, yep.
I don't even know how to describe this boat thing, but it was fun, and it turned some heads.
Dude,
who the fuck
times.
else had a boat out there?
Yeah, great times. I just remember I'm sitting there.
All right, yeah. That is a good...
Dude, I just remember I'm sitting there on the back of somebody's truck. I think it was like Mayo's or somebody's truck, and I'm just sipping. All of a sudden, I hear crack, and I'm like, and I start looking, and I see, I'm not going to throw names out there, but two girls and a male. One of these males potentially joined armed forces. That's all I'll tell you. You guys know who I'm talking about. So this guy,
that guy.
So him and these 2 girls are just getting active on the boat. I'm talking like jumping back and forth. And as they jump, it cracks more and more. And finally, old buddy just does like a swan dive. And then you just hear, and I'm just like, yep, there went the boat. So great times.
Best
man.
$40 we ever spent.
Exactly. And then last one, man. And then Connor, if you got any stories before we hop into DJ Sudz during college. But do y'all remember the mixer with Chi-Fi where we went to their Halloween party and then they went to ours?
Dude.
I remember they had a hill and it had rained a couple of nights before, and everybody was like going up the hill because they were like trying to smoke and piss. And everybody, as they were coming down, I guess didn't realize that it had rained before. So you just see people, mind you, everybody is like, girls are in like slutty cat outfits. Dudes are in like, I think Joker from like Suicide Squad was big at the time. So everybody's dressed as the Joker and everybody's just like completely like fucked. Right. So you just see people just sliding and sliding and sliding down the hill. And I'm just dying over there because I think I was DD at the time and I was getting paid for it. So I was like,
you know, our bros actually live in that house right now, and there's still mud on the carpet from that fucking party.
I can only imagine.
Yeah,
I can only, the Chi-Fi house. I can only imagine.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was a great time. And then I was bartender at the other one, and I remember we tried to do the if you pay $20, you get unlimited drinks. And then some people were abusing the system. They would just be like, "Let me get 4 White Claws," and I'm like, "Bro, it's you. It's only you." He's like, "No, I got 3 people over there." I'm like, "Bro, it's only you. Stop it." So. Fun times, man. But yeah, if y'all got
$20, you get unlimited drinks.
We tried.
Yeah, I was saying probably didn't plan out.
P&Ls that night. Like,
not good.
The bottom line was negative.
I was gonna say. Yeah,
I'm counting by day. If you
I was gonna say who was in charge. I think was Gavin in charge of socials at the time, because I think we were completely negative that night because the amount of drinks that were gone.
Social chair, but I was his.
You were running it.
Social assistant.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much ran everything. He was just like, "Hey, Sudz, I think this would be a good idea," and you're like, "All right, I'll do it." So yeah, so
terrible idea.
But yeah, I mean, anybody, please.
It's nice to hear some tamer stories from a different school.
Oh, bro, you're SAE at ECU. I can.
We're not speaking on some things.
I was gonna say,
we can talk about that later off the camera.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I have a very few stories that I could share publicly without getting people indicted of some sort. But one I thought of when you guys were talking about the boat is we also kind of had a rescue story, but it was of a bird. So one of our brother's houses was directly across the street from one of the halfway houses in Greenville. And so me and a few of my pledge brothers, and I think it was our vice president at the time, were just kind of chilling on his porch, listening to music, drinking. And out of nowhere, someone from that house walks out and says, "Hey, you motherfuckers want a bird?" Fucking, what?
Want a bird?
You want a bird? Well, me and my friend Matt were like, "Well, maybe." Like, let me see it. He's like, "All right, come over." So me and Matt walk over and we walk into this house. I am immediately scared for my life. I can't see shit. There's no lights on. There's literally just garbage everywhere.
No one in the house.
Yeah, we're in the house. And I'm like kind of adjusting my eyes, and he brings us over to the cage, and it's this beautiful like little blue, I think it was a cockatiel or something. He's like, "This is Malibu. We're about to move. We can't take him. So we're looking for someone else to take him." And we're like looking at him. Okay. And like I kind of look around the cage, and I didn't notice, but immediately, like right beside me, leaning on some newspapers, is a very large lady. And I don't know if she was dead or what. She wasn't moving very much. And we grabbed the bird. We ran the fuck out.
Got the bird.
We got the bird. And I looked at Matt.
Secure the bag.
You guys know me. I love animals. People fucking suck, but I'll get an animal. I'm with animals. I rock with animals. But I look at Matt. I'm like, "Get the fuck out." And so Matt's wheeling it out, and I'm talking to the guy. And he's like, "All right, so like, here's a little bit of food." He's like, "Oh yeah, but he won't eat the food unless you put a little Coke on it." I was like, "Repeat, right back." "What?" He's like, I'm like, "Specify Coke." He's like, "Oh, that Coke. Oh, great. So you made it a fucking drug addict bird?" And he's like, "Yeah, kind of. We were just kind of fucking with him, and now he doesn't really chill out unless he's coked up."
It was a little jokey joke, you know what I'm saying? Now he need a little cokey coke.
Yeah. So this poor fucking bird, we named him Malibu. We got him in the back of the truck. We took him to the president's house and just chilled him off on them. Because our president at the time just fell in love with it because it was a beautiful bird. They slowly put it through rehab. We got it clean. And then it lived for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 more weeks after that.
Can we talk about the rehab process a little bit?
It was.
So y'all gave the bird cocaine.
Hey man, listen,
Yeah,
that bird was here for a good time.
Come out of his mouth.
That bird was here for a good time, not a long time.
So,
So,
yeah, so eventually he was very erratic when we first
listen,
got him.
Was it true though? He wouldn't eat without blow.
Yeah, he would freak out. He would take it and just start throwing it and just flying across the cage, just like slamming into shit.
Because like most people I know, when they're doing blow, they don't want to think about food. They want a beer and another bump.
Yeah, I don't know how it really affects the bird, but they may or may not. I don't know the biology of it. They may or may not have weaned him off over the next few, month or so.
can I ask what like the reaction of the bird was when it was like fiending?
Yeah,
was it just flying around in the
I wouldn't
cage?
even say flying. It was like literally just like slamming into the cage and bop, bop. It looked like a pinball machine just going off and not like chirping, like chirp, chirp. It's just off the fucking walls, bonkers.
Withdrawals going crazy.
It was. So may or may not have, I don't want to implicate anyone, went through rehab with it, and finally it started getting back to its little and we could let it out of its cage, and it fell in love with the guy I'm talking about, and so he would always chill on his shoulder. And then he'd always tell me one morning, or every morning, he would wake up and after the withdrawal system, he would be chirping in the morning, chirp, 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 wake everyone up in the house. He said it was very nice instead of alarm clocks. And one morning he got up, there's no chirping.
Oh, no.
Do y'all have a funeral?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
As I say, me, Matt, and the president, we did.
Yeah. Good on y'all.
The
Good on
people that
y'all.
actually cared about the fucking bird, we
Yeah.
did. But the best part was, it was like on a Saturday, so we were having a tailgate and a full-on darty. So it was one of the early ones, so we were out there at 7 a.m. He finally shows up, and I'm already shit-faced. He walks over, he's like, Connor, I have something to tell you. I said, oh, God, what is it? Who's dead? Who fucking died? And he's like, that's it, I was like, no, he didn't even have to say it. I just looked at his eyes, and just the sadness in his eyes, I was like, not Malibu. He was like, it was Malibu. I woke up this morning to no chirps, and I was like, all right, we gotta go have a funeral.
R.I.P. Malibu.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Malibu. I do
Malibu.
have some photos of us like getting him out in the cage. And,
That's tough.
Yeah, so
Yeah, we're gonna have to put those.
Yeah, I'll
up.
try to upload them. But R.I.P. Malibu. It was a real
That's
one.
the most Greenville
I
story,
hope y'all
bro.
poured out some Malibu for Malibu.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, pour out
I
some
would
Malibu.
say that was, I think, one of the decorations he liked to perch on. We put in his cage with Malibu with a big stick in it. That would hang outside.
Yes,
Just
okay.
Malibu chilling in Malibu.
I respect that. I was gonna say like at the beginning, I was gonna say plot twist. The big lady on the floor was Malibu.
I'm fairly certain she's dead, but oh yeah, here we go. Found one real quick. So this is us loading them up in the bird cage.
Oh, it's actually Malibu. That's wild.
Oh, R.I.P.
Yeah, it was me and Matt. We'll upload it so everyone can see it. But yeah,
It's a
R.I.P.
beautiful thing that y'all did, you know.
Yeah.
I risked my fucking life for that bird.
I mean, literally, you
Yeah.
went into a fucking halfway house. I mean,
no.
that's
You know,
yeah.
Well, I told you I was a different animal in
I think in a
you.
halfway house, you're supposed to stay sober. So the fact they were giving their bird cocaine, they were doing cocaine. They probably got
Oh
kicked
yeah,
out
no,
of there.
yeah.
They said they were moving, aka
Yeah, I
they were
didn't
getting kicked out.
Like that, I didn't delve into their fucking answers. I wasn't gonna like start questioning their life. I'm like,
You're
give me the
like,
fucking
give me
bird,
the
let me
fucking
get out.
Just trying to save the bird.
Can I just ask how long did Malibu enjoy his or her?
I mean, we assume him. Like,
We'll go
Good point.
Jay.
yeah, I don't know, non-binary bird, whatever.
How long did Malibu enjoy their sobriety before?
A good 3 or 4 months.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, so like he was tweaking for a good 4 to 5 weeks. Like I said, may or may not have weaned him off. Don't want to get anyone arrested. But yeah, we got him back to normal, and then just one morning, Darty. I got that. I got.
Sounds
the
like y'all
news.
changed that bird's life.
Yo, for sure.
Literally.
Oh, yeah.
Congrats to y'all, man. Congrats.
Balls up.
We're degenerates, but
When it came to animals.
came to animals.
Yeah, I was gonna say degenerates with good hearts.
Exactly.
So I want to go ahead and jump into the DJ Sudz and the fraternity days and the college days, but I will say we had one darty, and it was right after a football game. It was hot, drinks were flowing, and I remember the cops got called because y'all's neighbors were pretty wild. And I remember you drunk as fuck, Gav drunk as fuck, Felipe.
Allegedly.
Yeah, sorry. Yep. Yeah. Everybody was allegedly sipping Dr. Pepper, but everybody went out there and was talking to the cops. And then it was right before you. Who was pres before you? Luke. Luke went out there
Shout
and
out to the goat.
had the cops laughing so hard. They were like, yeah, just keep it down. It's the lady over there. And I don't know who the lady over there was, but
Should've
y'all
egged
knew.
her fucking house.
But like it was just so funny because everybody one by one went out there and it was like, all right, your turn to go talk to her. And then as soon as Luke got out there, 30 minutes later, he comes back and you see the cops laugh, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's Luke. So
No, Luke's the man, dude.
yeah, dude, I loved his his speeches, like inspirational. Him, funny dude. Nothing really got to him, but it was funny when it did.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
couple of the VOCs got to him and they were funny, but other than that, like everything was pretty smooth sailing when I was there. So well, let's go ahead and hop into it.
All right.
Let's go ahead and hop into the fraternity days when, the turntables.
All right. So, like I said, I'll just pick up from where we talked about earlier. So, like I said, I went home, lived with my parents during college, or not during college, during COVID, rather. So, I made it there about a month. I had my little DJ board. I bought it when I was living there, actually. So that kind of helped keep me sane, like living with my mama for like a month. And granted, she's a nurse, and all the doctors and everybody around her was just beating in her head that COVID is gonna fucking kill you. Like, don't leave your house. We know how that was, but so I made it there about a month, right? And then I decided, I was like, fuck this. Like the night before Easter, we got in a big argument because I was like, I want to go out. I want to go out and do something. And she's like, no, you can't.
Breathe air, please.
Yeah.
She was so super scared, which I get it. She's in the medical field, and at the time they were brainwashing all of them to believe this shit. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going home. So I left Wilmington. I came back to Charlotte, and that's when I feel like I really locked in. I really was grinding every day on that DJ board. I was watching these videos on YouTube every day, annoying the shit out of my roommates with loud ass music all the time. My DJ homies will tell you to this day, some of them are like, I don't know how you do this shit, because I like that shit blaring in my ear when I'm DJing. So it was loud. I didn't give a fuck. I knew what I was trying to do. So we're DJing at the house all the time. I think around May, I think we said fuck it and had a party. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to whip this shit out. I've been doing it 4 or 5 months. I feel like I can hit some decent transitions. They weren't really that great looking back. But
Wednesday.
yeah, it was something like that. It was like a Wine Wednesday. So Wine Wednesday was something that we used to do with girls. Like it'd be like a kind of like a small mini party during COVID. Like if you were
bottles.
like if bottles. We would go to Lidl and we would load up the cart to the top with the $3 bottles. We'd spend like $150 and we'd get like 50 bottles of wine, and none of them would be remaining after. So pretty much everybody would drink their own bottle, because these were small things during COVID. It was like if you were cool like that and we knew you weren't going to snitch, like you would come through. That was like really the first time I started DJing in front of people. It was like May of that month, and so there were some Chi-O girls that would come to these underground illegal events. Allegedly, they would come. Sorry, y'all. I got to snitch on y'all. So they liked what they heard. They thought it was cool. So like a few weeks into like being back in Charlotte, like I got a call from one of the girls who was in Chi-O, and she's like, "Hey, like we're doing our formal like." We're going to be like socially distanced. We got this big venue. I'm like, okay, cool. What's the venue? They're like, oh, we're doing it at the Charlotte Knights Stadium. Do you want to DJ? I'm like, fuck yeah. I do gigs all the time. Like, I'd love to. They're like, do you have your own equipment and stuff? I'm like, yeah. I'm a DJ. I was not a fucking DJ.
The key to success. Make it till you make it.
Yeah, my man said,
my dad,
of course I got it.
My stepdad beat that into my head for years and years. So he was like, you know what? I'm going to take his advice. Well, we showed up there. So, yeah, my first gig I ever did was in a fucking stadium.
That's tough.
Which is crazy.
Put that on the resume.
Yeah.
And I think I did that gig for $100 and 2 drink tickets.
Mm. Hey, that's a good ass.
Which the worst offer I ever got was nothing, and you can drink for free all night. And, yo, if you need a place to crash, you can sleep on our couch.
No, I don't think it's $100 and 2 drink tickets in a nice fucking stadium.
For your first gig? Like, I mean,
that's a good gig.
yeah.
5 years in, dog. I don't think you understand.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people would just work their ass off for the opportunity to play it. Like,
Oh, I loved it. So basically we crushed it, and I ended up DJing.
I mean, you technically made more than Usher did at the Super Bowl, so.
I
no,
guess.
no cap. That's a real thing.
Yeah, but I actually bought tickets to a show here in Charlotte. I got 8 of them. If anybody needs a little resale ticket, get at your boy.
Hey, we'll talk.
Yeah.
Hey.
The resale price ain't the retail price, but business is business. Anyways.
Disclaimer.
Anyways.
All right, just kidding. We may not talk.
So we did that gig, right? And I was working at Graham Street Pub at the time. Shout out to Graham Street. That's my family. Shout out to everybody over there. They knew I was DJing, kind of doing my thing. I would send like my little bullshit mixes in our group chat at the time. So one night somebody cancels, right? And it's like a real last minute cancellation, like 2 hours before 9, which is when we would start there. He calls me and it's like, hey, like I want to give you a shot tonight. I'm struggling to find a fill-in. Like, do you want to do it? I'm like, hell yeah, I'll do it. Like, I'll come in there. So I go in there and I DJ. I think that one was for $150. Still not great, but like we're moving up a little bit. We got our first bar gig. So we got this gig, and the owner's actually there that night. He's not always there. He's got two really good managers that he really trusts and take care of the place, and that place always runs super smooth. Probably the best place I've ever worked, to be honest. But at the end of the night, I'm like, I go down there, and of course, I'm like nervous. I'm like, it's that same thing with producers here when you're DJing. Like, you dig into every detail to the point where the crowd is not doing that, Like, you're kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're digging too deep into it. Like, everybody's ear is not a DJ's ear.
That's the message.
Which is why some people suck at DJing, because they think they got an ear for it. They don't. But anyways, he's like, yo, you fucking crushed it. You want to play every week now? I'm like, yo, hell yeah. So, like, I got the residency there. I also had a good connection in Wilmington, right? That's my hometown. I used to work at a bar growing up in Wilmington. I'd run food, wash dishes, bring up a case of beer when they ran out type shit. I was kind of like an unofficial illegal bar back, allegedly. So
a lot of allegeds in this episode.
Yeah.
We're going to have to keep.
Put that in the thumbnail. Hashtag alleged.
Yeah, hashtag allegedly.
We allegedly have a guest on this episode.
Yeah.
So,
pretty much.
So this is what I would do. He's like, yo, like, I saw you been DJing up there. Like, your friends told me, like, you're decent at it. Like, do you want to come down here and work every week? I was like, yeah, I will. Like, I was really trying to grind at the time, dude. Like, so what I would do every week, I would work bar backing at Graham Street. And then I would leave on Tuesday. I would go DJ in Wilmington on Wednesday nights for like $150. Barely made my money to like get down there and back. And then I would turn back around on Thursday, pack in the car, work Thursday night at Graham Street bar backing. Then Friday I would DJ at Graham Street. And then I would work all weekend bar backing too. And then I would repeat the cycle the next week.
The grind never stops.
Yeah,
bro.
so
let's go.
It was a hustle at that time, making that 7 hours of travel every week. If you factor in the gas cost and the time DJing and the time driving, I mean, there was really nothing left. But I knew what I wanted at the time, so I had to do it. I just felt thankful for the opportunity. So yeah, that got me there, and then I kind of just, the best advice I can give anybody who's starting out to DJ is get your ass out of the house. Like, go to the club, go talk to the DJ. Like, I think it can be kind of intimidating for people starting out sometimes because they're like, oh, this dude's just going to brush me off. Like, everybody says they're a DJ these days. Like, is this, like, what makes you legit? Because, I mean, honestly, like, now when I get these kinds of requests, I immediately think, like, oh, this dude's a scrub. Like, who is this guy, But if you show your face enough, those people are going to start to have different thoughts, and they're going to appreciate your support, and they're going to want to give you a shot. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So I would always show my face, and then eventually I started making connections, and next thing you know, I'm playing at this other place called Greystone Pub. Shout out my boy Jay Good. We used to do a crazy-ass college night there. That's another story about the Mercury. When I would leave that joint, I would make it like a competition to see how many bitches I could get in the back of that thing. The record is 13.
God, dog.
So, yeah, we used to have, this was this little pub in South End. It's still there. Shout out Tommy, the owner. We would have a line about a 1/10 of a mile long before we even opened those doors. So that really helped me jumpstart, man. From there, I kind of built up that credibility on campus, and then I still had Chi Omega hitting me up. I was DJing our frat parties. I was DJing for Alpha Delta Pi. I was DJing for Alpha Chi Omega. I did one for Delta Zeta. So through all these sorority events, I kind of started to build up a network, and people would kind of start following me around as I got more and more bar gigs. So then one of these sorority events I did was at a place called Bulldog. They rented the place out. Shout out to Bulldog. When I was there that night, when I was leaving, like, one of the bartenders came up to me and she's like, hey, like, we have been trying to get our owner to, like, take on DJs. Like, all he ever wants to do is book bands. We think you killed it tonight. Like, do you have a business card? So I was like, yeah, for sure. So I give him a business card. And about 3 months later, out of nowhere, I get a call from the owner. And he's like, hey, like, the girl said you did really good at that private event. Like, we'd like to try out a DJ. Like, do you want to come in on this night and we'll give you a shot? I was like, yeah, absolutely. So, of course, what I did naturally when I start any gig is I hit up everyone in my phone and annoy the living shit out of them. And I'm like, yo, come to my gig. Like, and usually, like, I'll be very honest. Like, I have a great support system, a great following in town. And I don't really look at them as fans. Like, I appreciate their support more than anything. And these are, like, all my homies. Like, that's another big thing. Like, be nice to people in this DJ game and don't get a big head. It will help you a lot. So Bulldog that night, we crushed it. So he's like, all right, here, let's book a few more dates. So we booked a few more dates, you know. So now I have like the occasional Bulldog gig, and then I have that Graham Street gig every week, which is cool. And then I would do like the occasional sorority party or some random private event on like a Saturday afternoon. So like we're slowly starting to like, you know, build up our frequency of DJing, right?
For sure.
So then like after that next gig at Bulldog, which was like a week later or a month later rather from that first one I did, he's like, yo, like my bartenders love you. Like you bring a crowd, you want to play every week. All right. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. That's cool. So now I have 2 residencies. I have Friday and Saturday. So we keep rocking that for a while. And then as we meet more and more people at the bar, you know, we're passing out business cards. We're giving out phone numbers. We're taking song requests. We're texting people our number. We're giving out our Instagram, you know, like we're constantly trying to build this.
Get more girls in the Mercury.
Yeah. We're constantly trying to build up this following, you know, this group of people who know who I am. So, you know, we just keep doing it. We keep doing it. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, I told you I was doing that college night on Thursdays. So that only lasted a few months because ALE can suck a fat wiener. But after that kind of ended, my boy Jay Good, who I was doing the gig with, he's a longtime resident at Slingshot. They crushed it over there. So he's like, hey, like Slingshot wants people to start playing early DJ gigs, not just like the 10 to 2 set, which is standard in the DJ game. You show up at 10 and you play till 2 for open format DJing, which is what we do. They're like, we want somebody to start playing 6 to 9. Do you want to do it? I was like, hell yeah, I'll do it. So then we got a thing every other Saturday because I was doing it with my boy Jamar. We would alternate weeks. Shout out Jamar, that's my homie. We did that. So now we got Greystone on Thursdays, which had just ended, RIP. And then we still got Graham Street on Fridays. We got Bulldog on Saturday nights from 10 to 2. And then we're double dipping on Saturdays now. And we're also doing Slingshot before from 6 to 9. You know, so like it's starting to grow slowly. So then Greystone called me back and they're like, hey, we're a Bengals bar now, which means like they have a big Facebook group. All the Bengals fans of Charlotte go there. He's like, would you want to come DJ? You play the game sound, run the audio through your mixer, and then cut it for the commercials and play music. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So we did that for about 3 years. We just stopped doing that now because the Bengals suck. But, you know, it still helped me kind of like build my resume and build my credibility.
You ain't got enough people.
And then I met this.
No, it was lit though when they it was
Super Bowl. No, it was absolutely incredible in there. Like it would be slammed. Like they had a good sound system. It'd be rocking in there. It'd be super fun. It was kind of like a good learning experience for me too, doing that gig because it'd be a lot of younger people, a lot of older people. Like it wasn't just playing straight, you know, club bangers the whole time. Like you really had to read the crowd and kind of give something for everybody. So like that gig really kind of pushed me in the right direction, I think, and helped me get that grasp on entertaining anyone. Because now I'll do like boutiques. Like they'll hire me for like their spring sale and it'll be like 70-year-old grannies and I can handle it, you know? So like if the check clears and I'm available, I'm going to take the gig.
I know you ready to get down, Ernest.
No, yeah. That's what I was wondering if you eventually like started catering to certain audiences, like they would request a certain type of music or if you were just doing what you wanted to do.
Yeah, what are the 70-year-olds?
All right, so I'm going to they like Frank Sinatra. I like Frank. Get down with Frank. Fly me to the moon.
How did they like expand your personal music repertoire too?
So yeah, I had to start learning a lot about music and I would go to different places around town that I knew had different vibes and kind of like go incognito mode for lack of a better word. So we would learn different types of music through that, but I just want to continue talking about, I know we probably need to move on to the next thing. We're going to keep talking about this for 1 second. So then I met my boy Kamal and he runs Up on a Tuesday. They're a booking agency here in Charlotte. They were like one of the first ones to give me a shot. They were kind of like, hey, like we want a young DJ who's hungry and we'll kind of help you. He gave me about 10,000 songs and he gave me some of my first gigs. So now with the other stuff I was talking about, I also have gigs that I'm doing up at Lake Norman now. I would play at Boatyard, Tropicana. These places are very much, you know, older crowd, white crowd, you know, so
talk about the Beach Boy days. Okay.
Not always, you know, they like to get down, but they like the hair rock and shit like that.
For sure.
But, you know, it kind of just slowly evolved. And then I left Graham Street about 6 months ago. And this is where everything kind of changed, I would say. You know, I'd play at some of these other places that I play now from time to time. But when I left Graham Street, Bulldog had just opened 2 more locations. So we have 3 Bulldogs in town now. And my boy Boss Austin, shout out to Boss. Y'all will meet him soon. He's got a booking agency here in town called 2429 Productions. And basically I was like, hey, like I'm unhappy where I'm at right now. Not because anything personal. It's just, you know, I felt like I needed to take my shit to the next level. So that's what I did. He helped me get there. You know, he gives me all these gigs now. And in return, I gave him 3 new spots to book. So basically what he does is he books a spot and then he in turn books a DJ to play for it. So he's kind of like our agent in a way. So now I'm playing regularly. I have residencies at Bulldog, RSVP in South End, which is a big nightclub. Those are my residencies. And then I rotate around between Tiber Creek Pub, Gin Mill, Brickyard, Dandelion Market, Trio, and a few others. So we're kind of like all over now. And I couldn't have done it by myself, but I had to put in that work before someone and prove myself before someone like Boss would even give me a shot. You know, that's what we get, people hitting us up all the time with no credibility, asking for gigs, asking for this and that. And they don't realize that it was a grind, like a 3-year grind. It didn't just happen overnight. Like I've only seen this success in the last year or so.
You got to tell them if you're not driving 7 hours for $100, I don't want you.
No, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's really what it was, dude. But the thing is anybody who's as passionate about it as I feel like I am would be down to do that. If you have the dream, you really want to do it, you'll fucking do it. You know what I mean? That goes with anything.
For sure.
It wasn't even about the money in the beginning.
I imagine, bro. And I mean, the passion was always there. So real quick, before we hop into the next topic, and then we're going to play a little game here. I always like to end on a game. Give me that I'm him moment for you.
All right, I will. So it actually just happened last week. I don't know if y'all...
Funny you mentioned that. It just happened.
Or maybe 2 weeks ago. So I got a text. So I've been playing at this big club, RSVP. Shout out to my homie Javier, the new GM. So he hit me up and he's like, hey, we just booked a really big EDM artist and we're wondering if you want on the lineup. And I'm like, yeah, I want on the lineup. Who is it? And they're like, it's Cheat Codes. So these people have 7.5 million monthly listeners on Spotify. They have music with Demi Lovato. This one song in particular, it goes promise me no promises. It has, yeah. It has 1 billion plays on Spotify alone. And he's like, yo, do you want to play direct support for them? Meaning you get to open directly before them and then pass off the decks to them. And I was like, I almost passed out, dude, to be honest.
I'm sorry. Do you want to ask me that again, please?
Nah, dude. I was so excited. And the show's actually coming up on February 23rd. You can go to bit.ly/cheat codes RSVP and use code SUDS for a discount. Love to see y'all there. We're going to crush it.
Hey, man, I'm going to try to pull up, man.
Yeah,
I have to leave the kids, but
It is 21 and up. And that's years, not months.
Darn, just missed the cutoff. But nah, man, that's awesome, man. But real quick, you already dropped into it a little bit, man. But if you got somebody out there who's brand new on the scratchies, man, on the scratch table, tell them something. Give them that one. Just give me one piece of advice. I mean, you probably already said it, man, but go ahead and echo it again. If there's a young, hungry person out there, man, tell them what they need to do to get to where you're at right now and even further.
I would just say the biggest thing is to show your face everywhere. Go meet all the DJs, go meet the club owners. Don't be afraid to tell them who you are. Talk to the people that matter, though. People that will help get you booked. You might have to be a little bit of social media snoop. Go on there and figure out who is the person that matters and go after them and try to make a good relationship with them and just be a good person. Don't be a shitty asshole and you'll get somewhere.
Yeah, the biggest takeaway I got from your whole thing was make connections and say yes. Take the opportunities.
Correct. Don't get a big head and turn down gigs. I mean, especially in the beginning. I mean, there's some that I'll turn down now, but it's usually because I'm already booked for something else, and then I have a choice, and I pick the one that's either higher paying or more fun or both. It's not all about the money all the time.
Sometimes it can be both. Sometimes it can be fun. Sometimes it can be profitable. But when you find that mix,
I do have a part-time job as an accountant, but for the most part, DJing is my main source of income. So I have to do what's financially responsible.
He calls himself DJ Sudz, but it's really DJ Superman because once he gets out the account, he just goes into the phone booth and changes.
Well, I say at 5:00, Jacob leaves the building and Sudz enters. But Jacob don't really fuck with Sudz because Sudz is a bad influence.
But nah, man, I appreciate all that. So let's go ahead and hop into a little game here. I love ending on games. So I actually got some whiteboards for us. Shout out the teacher, my fiance, got me these very nice whiteboards. So y'all are going to be a team.
All right.
So because y'all are a team, I gave my two co-hosts here. Here you go. I gave my two co-hosts heads up. Do both of y'all remember what I told y'all?
Yep.
No.
Dang. So I told y'all, make sure you know artist birthplaces.
Where are
All
they
right.
from?
So what we're going to do is we are going to hop into a little artist Jeopardy. So I'm going to give you 4 questions. You're going to write the answer. We're going to keep a point system here. So, y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
I don't have erasers. I'm sorry, Monique didn't give me all that. All right, first one. I was born in, if I answer all 4, if you know the answer beforehand, just write it down and just keep it close to your chest. All
Okay.
right?
What's that?
All right. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, but moved to Chicago early in life. Number
I got
2.
an idea.
I changed my name twice. Number 3, I previously owned my own record label. And number 4, I've been married twice.
All the same person.
All the same person.
What was number 3?
Okay.
Number 3 was I owned my own record label. Owned. Maybe still owns. Not 2. All right, whenever y'all ready, just let me know.
What was
Put your
number
pens
4?
down. Number 4
Just
was
run through them
I've
all
been
again.
married twice.
I have no idea.
So whenever you're ready, just put your pens down for me, classroom
Yeah.
style.
Run
Huh?
them all again because I have no idea.
I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, but moved to Chicago early. I changed my name twice. I potentially owned, my own record label, and I've been married twice.
I got no fucking idea.
Good job, Connor.
It's one person, right?
One person. Yep, this is all
That's who?
one person.
I don't know.
All right. When everybody's ready, go ahead and drop the. Make sure all of you pointed at a camera too. So
Might be wrong.
it's all right. All right. Everybody ready? 5, 4, 3,
It's a little jerk.
2,
Write it down. Write it down. Yeah.
1. Pins down. Pins down. Who we got?
Man, I don't fucking know.
Good job. That's wrong.
No shit.
Right here, Mr. Kanye West, Mr. Ye, Mr. Yeezy.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
So ahead and give yourself 1 point, Enoch.
Yeah.
Good job.
I was thinking way
Yeah,
further back.
easy.
All right.
He is like the most iconic rapper from Chicago. Should have known.
I mean, the
It's the
Atlanta,
born in
Georgia.
Atlanta part
I was
that
gonna
most
say
people don't
the
know.
Georgia part got me. He moved, I think, right when he was like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the change my name twice. I thought was gonna give it away.
Damn, as a DJ, that's gonna hurt me to not know this shit.
We'll cut that part out for you. We'll give
I ain't
you
gonna lie.
we'll give you
I'm
Enoch's
sweating too,
board.
bro. I'm like, yeah.
No,
I was gonna say we'll give you Enoch's board. No, I'm just kidding. All right, second one. I was born in Los Angeles, California. My middle name is Pirate. I was the youngest person to ever win Album of the Year, circa 2020. My first number 1 song on the charts was called Bad Guy.
Yeah. You know this, right?
Ain't no
Dang.
way.
Not my game.
There's no way you don't know this
I mean,
one.
I probably know it,
You're
but like,
right.
I just don't like. This is not the game
My
for
first
me.
number 1 song on the charts was called Bad Guy.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
the
you're right.
youngest person ever to win Album of the Year, circa 2020.
I don't know. Like, this is not my game.
Okay.
Not
All right, everybody ready?
Mhm.
3, 2, 1. Billie Eilish.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't listen to
Shout out
Billie
my
Eilish?
man over
You
here.
got
Dang.
a napkin? You got some napkins, Drew?
Might be some underneath the sink.
All right. I hope you get this one.
No, probably not.
We can't be friends if you don't get this one. All right. Whenever. Well, we can go ahead and then just.
No, go ahead.
All right.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you. Thank you, producer. Producer, aka napkin giver. All right. Next one. I was born in Germany but raised in North Carolina.
I already know.
My first mixtape ever was released in 2007. I signed with Rock Nation in 2009. I told Dr. Dre about Kendrick Lamar.
All I needed to hear was born in Germany and raised in NC.
All right, ready? And 3, 2, 1. Mr. Jermaine. Is that an S?
J. Cole.
Okay, sorry. I thought that was an S.
Oh, top.
Nah, I thought that was an S. I was like, who is S. Cole?
I didn't feel like.
All right, J. Cole.
J.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay,
Appreciate
yeah,
you.
that
Yeah.
Shout out to 2-6.
Hey, that's
Cold
right.
world.
That's right.
Cold
Cold world.
That's right.
I knew it right when he said I'd be hurt if you don't get it. I was like, I know this.
Listen.
Yeah, I gotta figure that one too.
Jermaine, if you're ever watching this, please.
I'm just glad nobody wrote down the baby.
Oh yeah,
I would have been so sad. All right, next one. I was born in Miami, Florida, but grew up in Cali. I was the captain of my varsity's badminton team. I founded my own record label in 1996. I am the highest grossing EDM artist in North America. I was born in Miami, Florida, but grew up in Cali. I was the captain of my varsity's badminton team.
That's all you.
I founded my own record label in 96. Bit of an older guy. I am the highest grossing EDM artist in North America.
96 is. I mean, I think.
EDM artist in North America. I'll give y'all a bonus one. If y'all ever want to catch me, you can catch me usually with Dan Blazarian.
I'm pretty sure mine's wrong, but I just thought
All
it'd
right.
be a random EDM artist.
I think I know who it is.
All right.
Who's again?
I was born in Miami, Florida, but grew up in Cali. I was the captain of my varsity badminton team. I founded my own record label in 96. I am the highest grossing EDM artist in North America.
Highest grossing meaning he gets paid the most.
He gets paid the most.
Oh yeah, I know who this is.
All right, you ready?
Does he throw cakes?
I have no idea. Hold on.
All right.
I just gotta put something down, right?
Yeah. All right. And you ready?
This is wrong.
3, 2, 1. Steve Aoki.
Was Steve Aoki?
It was Steve Aoki.
When he said highest grossing,
I was
knew it.
like, when he said throw cakes, I was like, they might get that now.
I don't know if y'all ever heard of like the famous restaurant called Benihana, like
Yeah.
rappers.
Oh, yeah.
So Steve Aoki's dad was actually the founder of that, the head chef, and he kind of had all that money to fall back on.
Yeah.
Is that the one that screwed
So
over
I
Jordan
think
Belfort?
that kind of helped.
Benny fucking Hanna?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Steve Aoki, his dad was the founder of that and the head chef.
I mean, to be
dope.
fair, Billie Eilish, who we also talked about on this same list, her parents were both major producers in Hollywood. And her brother produced all his stuff.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, most people who are in those spots know somebody who knows somebody.
They know something.
Nepotism.
I got a pair of shoes that's ruined from a Steve Aoki show because a cake landed right on them.
Oh, wow. Very nice. So that's like a thing he does.
All right. So what's the
Yeah.
score? I think. Are y'all up 1 or
No,
is it
we
tied?
got 2.
It's tied.
'Cause I'm the only one that got
2-2.
Connor.
Yeah, we
So
got
2-2.
Billy and
All right,
Steve.
Connor,
Billy and Steve.
Connor, we gotta get. I know that's what I'm saying.
I got one.
We got to tie it up. All right.
Oh, Lord.
Last one. I was born in Wilmington, North Carolina. I attended school for accounting. I started my musical career in 2020.
I don't know how you spell it.
All right.
That it?
I wasn't born in Wilmington, but I know who you're talking about.
Damn. Damn, that's crazy.
I was born in
All right.
Cary.
Crazy.
And 3, 2, 1.
Your
There we
boy.
go. DJ
So-
Sudz.
So the official loser is Spencer.
Yeah, that
You
was
got,
me,
you
my
got a
bad.
negative point
Hey,
for that.
Listen, man, I scoured everywhere to find out where you were born. I couldn't find it. You gotta upload the wiki, bro. Like,
I was
couldn't
born
find
at
it.
Wake Med, Cary.
Cary?
Yes,
My
sir.
bad, man. Oh, that's right. You told me that before. That's on me. Sorry,
better.
guys. That's on me. That, you know what? Edit that part out. Put Cary. I didn't say Wilmington. But congratulations, you guys tied. Connor, we're gonna
Two.
get you some more
I'm down
music.
1.
We
Yeah,
got
that's
3.
game.
We got
That's
3
game.
I know,
here.
well,
Yeah, it's
down
3-3.
1.
Good job.
Yeah, no tiebreaker?
Oh, y'all want a tiebreaker? All right, cool.
We're
No,
all
let's do
winners.
it.
Yeah, let's see
Let's
it.
do it. Let's get a tiebreaker. All right, hold on.
Final Jeopardy.
One question. You got to know it off the rip. All right. I'll do it like a and. So I'll say I am blank and blank. All right, you ready?
Yeah. So 2?
I am 54 years old and have my own record label.
He's he's older than that.
54 years old.
Can we get one more hint?
Is he in prison?
No.
What do you think of Suge Knight? Did he just purchase this record label in the last year or so?
No.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking the same person you was thinking with that one.
Mm-hmm.
I was born and raised in New York City.
I got it. Oh wait.
How old is he again?
That's what
54.
I was thinking.
But is it him or is it
That's what I was thinking.
Puffy?
All right, 1, 2, 3.
God damn it.
Dang, they're right. All right. Now we gotta do another one. Connor, who'd you have?
I was torn. I
don't
didn't
gotta
know.
do it.
I was torn between.
I was not a tiebreaker. I wasn't in it.
All right, my bad. All right, one more. Dang, I gotta find a tough one.
Well, since I'm not in, I can help out.
Actually, you wanna look up somebody real quick?
We keep
Or you
talking.
wanna- Here, type it in.
Love my wife.
Oh,
Oh, see, we're just gonna have to just stay tied. I see.
He's close.
Oh, hold on. Oh, we're ready?
Oh yeah.
I love
my wife.
Congratulations, Enoch. You are the winner of the very first ever
To be fair,
Artist
though,
Jeopardy.
that is a hilarious answer because it is technically accurate.
I mean,
Most
yeah,
people
yeah,
are
yeah,
saying,
yeah, yeah.
the
You're not
first
wrong.
rapper to win a Grammy, and by the keep his wife's name out your mouth, he do love.
Yeah, that's true. So I appreciate
life at the time.
appreciate everybody playing. Connor, we'll get one next time where a little bit more fair for you.
Well, man, music's not my thing.
I was gonna say,
if we play some
we had
music,
two
I can do.
people.
I can. That's
Oh, we should
more
do
my
that
stuff.
something like a little Shazam shit.
Yeah, like finish
I
the
just,
lyric or something like that. I can.
don't want to get the 50% of the episode cut off. But real quick, let's do that. Let's do that spotlight, that Fairweather Spotlight. So Sudz, tell us where we can find you. Tell us what's going on. Tell us what you got coming out, man. What's the scoop on you?
so my Instagram is at DJ Sudz 704. That's SUDZ 704. You can find me there. I post all my gigs there every week. I usually post like a weekly schedule on Monday, Tuesday, and then the day of post a flyer or whatever I got. I'm going to be releasing an edit / mashup / remix every week for the rest of the year. Every week on SoundCloud, so you can expect it about every Monday. It's coming. I feel like that's important to kind of help me level up to the next level. And, now I'm starting to do all these festivals and, playing for these big artists. Like I'm opening for Cheat Codes on direct support. I'm opening for DJ Rivas and Angelo the Kid on Sunday. They're pretty big as well. They're real big in the DJ scene. Their edits and remixes are just like everyone's favorite. Shout out to Angelo. Shout out to Rivas. I'm playing at Breakaway Music Festival this year. You can find me there. So really, I'm gonna be all over South End DJing all the time. I'm really excited about this new remix thing I'm doing. I'm gonna really hold myself accountable and keep them things coming out. Straight fire for the people. Yeah, that's really about it, man. I'm excited for the future. The goal is to try and quit this day job in the next year or so. I feel like I could now, but it makes me a little nervous. I'm not quite ready to take that leap of faith, so we'll get there shortly. I got a website coming out in about 2 weeks. You can find me there at djsudz.com. Yeah, everything's on the rise. Happy to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
That's what's up, man. Appreciate you. Connor, one time, man, for the one time. Tell them where you can find us at.
Find us on Instagram, Threads, X, formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere where you listen to podcasts. Did I miss anything?
YouTube.
I said YouTube.
Nah, he said it.
Yeah, just kidding. I didn't hear it. Anyways, Enoch, what you got going on, man? Give us a little interlude out of here.
Once again, we got that Delusions of Grandeur Sensei 7. Y'all check that out. Nasir Ali and myself got Correctional Captivity 2 coming real soon. Y'all check that out. And for sure, I'm going to be talking to my mans after we get off this episode. So
let's do it, brother.
Definitely glad to be here as always. And to shoot Connor's point, like I said, it's going to be playing episodes. We don't know certain topics as much. Like I said, anime, I'm still catching up. So once again, I'm glad to have you. I'm excited for more episodes.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you guys. It's been fun.
Yeah, I was glad to hear about the music. I'm an outsider. I'm just a consumer. I love listening, so I don't have a creative bone like that. So listen to it behind the scenes.
Bro. I love that.
For sure.
Because to your point, that creative brain can fuck you up.
Hey,
Also,
listen,
if you guys need some blunt honesty, I don't have a problem telling anyone their shit's trash.
I mean, that too.
So if you need like an honest suggestion, I'll let you know.
All right,
If my
guys.
head's not bumping,
Please.
it's not bumping.
all right, guys, Monty's scratching at the door, so we got to get out of here. But I appreciate all y'all. Thank you to the producer, Drew, behind the scenes,
Peace.
making everything work. And let's get out of here.